Hey guys, Pam Savage again with Young at Heart Creations. I had to take a break to go get supper ready and feed my hubby, but I am back. This is what we've been working on. Doing a stocking and putting a little gingerbread man in the center. So just wondering if I have any other late night painters tonight. I was getting pretty close to being finished with this one, so I thought I would go ahead and work on it just a little bit more and hop back on with you. I couldn't go live for a while because my husband was live on a meeting on a Zoom call, and so we couldn't both be on at the same time. So I went ahead and worked on it just a little bit more. I finished the peppermints. I ended up outlining them in white. Finished that, and then I went back and looked at the comments, and that's what y'all suggested, so we were on the same page with that. And I did shade around them to kind of make them look like they're a little bit 3D, maybe set back. And I have shaded the inside of the gingerbread man and shaded around him on the outside, and then I've just with a chalk pencil drawn his little face on. So I made it kind of a youthful looking mouth, so it looks kind of like a baby. So if you're on here, say hi to me. I'm going to pull you up on my iPad right quick so I can see the comments a little better. So say hello or just hi or I'm sleepy or something. Hi Anna, thank you so much. Trying to see if these comments are working, and yes they are. Great. Okay. All right, well I'm going to bring you down here. I don't usually paint live this late anyway. Sometimes I paint this late, just mainly because I'm trying to get ready for the craft show, but I've been trying to make myself go to bed earlier, but this is a late night, so thought I'd just bring you on with me. Not really a tutorial, I'm just painting. So I'm going to see if I can bring you down close enough to see what's going on here. Okay, so right now I'm just doing the face, and then I'm going to glitter. I don't know if I'll get to that tonight, but glitter the top. I got some diamond dust for the first time, so I'm going to try diamond dust on this to give it really a glitter. Not sure if, because it is pretty busy with the peppermints, not sure what I'm going to do down here, if I'm just going to leave it plain, or if I'm going to add some little swirls, or maybe a hashtag on it. I'm not sure. If y'all have any suggestions, let me know. I don't want to be too busy. You know, and I think it looks okay with just the plain, but if you think it would look better with something else, let me know. Give me your suggestions. And what are y'all doing up this late? Let me know what you're doing. Okay, so I'm going to take a small liner brush, very small. Let me get that white so you can see it. Very tiny. And work on his eyes. So I'm going to need some black. Anna, where are you from? All right, I'm just using Anita's black. You're in bed, should be sleeping. I do the same thing, but it kind of winds me down when I watch. I'll pull somebody else's videos up and watch them paint as well. I do the same thing. Oops, I forgot. I'm going to paint his the eyes white and then fill them in with black. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it upside down for me and get some white back out here. It's much easier to go ahead and fill in the eyes white and then put the black over it than it is to go ahead and put your black pupils and then try to paint the little white around the sides. I have found that it's just easier to go ahead and fill in that whole eye, and then you can, oh, Ardmore, Oklahoma. Well, you're close to me. I'm just about 50-60 miles north of Dallas in Sherman. I'm sure you probably know where Denison is, so it goes Denison and then Sherman. So that's where I am, so we're close. One of my sons and his family live in Meade, Oklahoma, just about 5 minutes west of Durant. And then we've I've got some more family that's moving to McAllister. I have a niece they're building a home there. So we're just like 10 minutes from the 10, 15 minutes. It takes us about 40 minutes, depending on the road construction, about 40, 45 minutes to get to Durant, depending on the traffic. I'm not real worried about right in the center of the eyes because it's going to be black. It's mainly on the edges here. And I'm going to do 2 coats. We'll dry it. Y'all have any craft shows coming up in the area? I'm trying to get ready for a craft show that we have at our high school, Howe High School in Howe. That's on November the 13th. So if you're looking for a good craft show that weekend, it's not very far for you to drive. How far is it to drive? Do you know where Sherman is? How far of a drive is it for you? If not, how far is it to Durant for you? That'll give us a pretty good idea. About an hour to Sherman or an hour to Durant? Ooh, what weekend are those? I haven't been to a craft show in so long. Okay, so you're about an hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes from us. What weekend are the craft shows there? Let me dry these eyes right quick. Like my quiet new little hair dryer. It's actually a craft dryer. It's not a hair dryer. This is actually part 2. I had to stop and get my hubby some supper. He got off work, but then had to get right back on for an elders meeting. He's an elder in our congregation, and they had a meeting tonight, so he's been at his desk most of the day. Okay, I think we've got those covered enough. I'm terrible at drawing circles, so I used the cap off of a Tylenol bottle. I just used it. It ended up just being the perfect size for what I needed. Oh, that's the weekend hours is November the 13th. It's just a one day. But we set up that Friday night, which is nice. We get everything set up Friday night, and it's just 5 minutes from my house. So that makes it really nice. That's the craft show I've always wanted to go to in Ardmore. And that's why I've never been, because it's always been the same weekend as ours here. I've heard that it's a really good one. Okay, so before I do the eyes, I want to do the mouth so that I'm not pulling my arm over the paint. So I'm going to switch to a liner brush. And that Anita's black is a little bit thick, so I'm just watering it down a little bit. This is a new liner brush for me, so I'm still kind of getting used to it. It's Master's Touch 30/0s. It's got a really short, fat handle. It feels real good, but I am sure having to get used to it because my other one was the bristles a lot thinner on it. So I'm going to try this. I'll definitely go to a different one for the eyes. This one's too fat for the eyes. All right, so I'm going to do the little smile wrinkles, I guess, is what you call them. Not much pressure. And I have to turn it a little wompy jawed here. Now, a lot of people can hold their brushes up like this. I just can't do that. I have to hold it down close. It really helps watering the paint down. And that is put on with chalk pencil. So once I get it dried, that chalk will just wipe right off. I'm going to take a little filbert brush to fill that mouth in. You could do it with a flat or a round also. Okay, let me dry that and put a second coat on it. Then we'll put rickrack around his head too. I guess that's what you call it, rickrack frosting. Kind of cool that down a little bit. A little dryer gets hot, but I love it for doing lives. It's so quiet. And it dries fast. We'll put a little tongue in there too. My hubby just, went to bed. I told him, I said, I'm going to do a live for a few minutes. He said, do you know what time it is? Yeah, but I've got to get this done. And I told him I would hop back on here. There's always somebody else up this late. Oh, 40 years. We're on 20-something. I actually started it. Went to the band boosters and told them, you know, it would make a good fundraiser. And the first year I went to them with it, they were like, no, I don't think that would make us any money. I don't think that would go over. So the next year I went back with a plan, a written up plan, told them I would do everything the first year. Get all the vendors, you know, advertise, go around handing out flyers, and that I promised in 5 years it would be sold out or you know, after 5 years, if it wasn't, then we would disband it. And that was 25 years ago, 24, I don't know, 20 something, and it's still going strong. The only year we haven't had it was last year because of COVID. So it is done really well. And we started with 18 vendors the very first show, and now we have over 70 vendors. Okay, I'm just drawing the little pupils. And I'm going to outline with a very small, that little tiny liner brush, and then we'll fill it in. I'm going to go ahead and do the lines under the cheeks, or right under the eyes, cheekbones, I guess. Right now, he kind of like spooky with those white eyes. I can tell it's getting late because I'm about to lose my voice. I got up this morning bright and early, and cleaned my closet, did some laundry, did some things in here, did some cleaning, and had lunch with my hubby, and then got started on this. So I've been at it off and on. Okay, now I'm going to switch. I have a very tiny, it says it's a number 2 Princeton Velvet Touch. It is probably, it's a 1/4 of an inch wide. Just, I mean, 1/8 of an inch, I'm sorry. Tiny, tiny, tiny. But it's great for filling in little spaces like this. You could also do his eyes blue. I did all of the peppermints at first, the base coat of them with a little round brush, and then the second and third coat, actually, I did with this one, filled it in. So it has really been used tonight. Hi, Cheryl. Another night owl. I decorate my kitchen for Christmas in gingerbread men. So it's hard for me when I paint gingerbread men to let them go. Okay, Anna confessed why she's up this early, so she's supposed to be asleep. What are you doing up this early, Cheryl? Early, I mean late. And then we'll outline the outside of his eyes in black. Normal for you? Well, lately it's been normal for me. It's that time of the year. Okay, so I'm going to take that small liner brush again, and I'm going to outline the outside of his eyes. We'll do the eyebrows and then some eyelashes. I have to hold my breath when I'm doing this little bitty lining. Hi, Jerry. Late night for me. Just trying to get things caught up for the craft show. I'm usually almost in bed by now, but had to get some painting done tonight. Hey, you're up too. Jerry tries to keep me healthy and in line. She's got her hands full. Got her work cut out for her with me. Need to touch that up just a little bit. It didn't go all the way down to that line. Okay, let's go ahead and do the eyebrows. Make that one a little bit higher. Okay, and let's do eyelashes. This tends to be my go-to eye. I do it a lot, but I do have other eyes that I do as well. These are just fast for me. And I think they're cute. And then we'll put some centers in his eyes. Brush went a little bit the wrong way and kind of squared that off, but I think it looks okay. I think it'll work. Okay, and some eyelashes on this side. I usually go long, short, and you can even feather some little bitty ones in that. Okay, so we start at about right there. bristles on this brush keep separating. Let's put some little bitty ones in there. Okay, and for his nose, let's see if I've got some rockwood red. Open. I'm going to use the rockwood red. It's almost a burgundy, just a little bit lighter. 12 or 1. Oh, I do too. If I'm being honest, I do too sometimes. I really try not to on, like if it's the night before church. I try to make sure I'm in bed on Saturday nights, but I do the same thing. Sometimes, I mean, that's when I get my best work done. It's when it's quiet. All right, I'm going to outline his nose first, and then we'll fill it in. And I've already drawn it out with that chalk pencil. Okay, I'm going to go back to that little bitty brush. We'll see if that'll do the job. There's enough paint on the lid there that I'm just using that. I didn't even pour any on my plate. All right, for those of you that just hopped on, I was trying to decide if I want to do something else on the toe and the heel, or if all of the peppermints, it's pretty busy with all of those. If it looks okay just with the green, or if I should put some little swirls or something on it, maybe in the lighter green. Sometimes when I'm trying to just make a decision like that, I have to walk away from it, think about it, sometimes even sleep on it before I make the final decision. Okay, let's try that, and then we'll put a little highlight on it. And we're going to get the white out, do his eyes, and then I'll base coat for his tongue. Our tacos were good for supper. We had tacos and Spanish rice. That was really good. Okay, back to that small liner brush. And we're just going to put a highlight across his nose. And let's go ahead and do the tongue. I'm going to use my chalk pencil just to kind of draw it, and it's really just a fat M. So I'm going to go ahead and base it in the white so the red will show it better. Hey Anna, if you're still up, do you know anything about the craft show in Ardmore? Like how much the booths are, who to contact, how I find it, what's the name of it, how do I get information on it? Because I might want to do it next year. You probably finally fell asleep, so I may just have to send you a message. Okay, now the tongue will show it much better. Let's go ahead and dry it just a little bit. I'll put that red on it. Let it kind of cool down. We'll go ahead and do our little eyes. So I'll make a T and then an X. And I'm not putting any pressure. I'm just barely letting the brush touch it. And we'll put the dot in the center. I might put a little bit of blue around the blacks of his eye as well. Okay, so I'm going to use the dotter to make the little dots in his eyes. Same way I make my snowflakes, only I put dots around all of the points when I do snowflakes. Hi, Jan. You had a fall about 2 this morning. Oh. Well, I'm so sorry. I hope everything's okay. My mom fell last year, and I tell you, it was no fun. Keep me posted as to how you're doing, and I'll sure put you on our prayer list. Okay, so I'm going to take some blue fog. Let's see where it is here. This is Anita's blue fog. I like to put a little bit of that around the eyes. Let's see if this one's open. Yeah, it is. Just gives him a little more character. It just takes a tiny little bit. Still using that little liner brush. Some people are really afraid of the liner brush. Once you practice with it and get used to it, it'll be one of your favorite brushes. You'll have to be careful because those dots I put in the eyes will be wet for a little while. Just a very tiny detail, but really makes a difference. Y'all, I'm up to 571 followers. Look at my daughter. She put her phone off. Oh. Are you home or are you in the hospital? Did you break anything? Okay, enough blue. Just gonna go around the top just a little bit here. Okay. And then we'll do some little cheeks also. All right, let's go ahead and get his mouth. And for the mouth, we're going to go back to that Tuscan red. Just a very, very small amount. I'm going to go to that tiny little flat brush. This was my first day, Jerry. You'd be so proud of me. I finally figured out how to get comments up on my iPad. Finally figured it out. This is my first day to get to use it. But I'm discovering that it's very delayed. So when you comment something, it takes me a minute to see it. But it's so nice to be able to visit with y'all. All right, I'm going to finish out with that little liner. So that's a little bitty area. And I'm going to come back underneath that tongue and finish it back out in the black. Because I don't want it to look like it's outside of his mouth. Don't want him to be sticking his tongue out at everybody. Okay, let me dry it and put one more little coat on it. I haven't cut any wood out because I'd gotten so much cut back in August. I have not cut wood since August. And I've still got tons to do without any cutting. All right, let's get back under it here with the black. And I'll put a couple of little highlights. Dripped water there. Okay, well, I've still got some white out that's wet. I'm going to go ahead and do the rickrack around, and then we'll put some pink on the under the eyes and in the mouth. So let's see what brush I want to use for that. Try to get one that's got good point on it. Okay, let's see if this one will work. Number 3, that one that we were using earlier. I think we can make it with it. Okay, and I'm just going to start at the top and we'll work my way around. I'm not going to start right in the middle. I'm going to start kind of off-side here. Now I need to remember that those eyes are still a little bit wet where I put the dots. So I don't want to get my hand in those. Good night, Anna. Anna, if you can find out any information on the Ardmore Craft Show for me, I would appreciate it. If you could just private message me or instant message me. Just whoever the contact is. I might want to do it next year. Okay, that just to me brings him to life as a gingerbread man or gingerbread boy. Girl, if you put a bow. This is not a huge, let me see how tall this is. Okay, it's a 16-inch, which is a little smaller. Most of my other ones are 18 to 20-inch, and I usually charge $35 for them. But this one has got so much detail on it that I will probably put $35 on it too. Do y'all think that's too much? Do you think I should go down to $25? By the time I get the glitter and everything on it, it's going to have a lot of work in it. But you don't want to overprice. That's my hardest thing. Because I always underprice. I want them to get a good deal, but then, you know, I'm learning you can't just give your stuff away either. And yes, you may be able to go to Hobby Lobby or somewhere and get something just as cute, but it's not handmade and made with love. It's made on a machine. Okay, let's get some cheeks. It's a little bit streaky where I've floated, where I've shaded, but once I get the sealer on it, it'll be good. So I'm going to use Poodle Skirt Pink for under the cheeks. Just a little bitty squirt. Try not to squeeze it too hard because I don't want it to just all at once come out. Let me shake it again. I did go to Hobby Lobby and get some more paint. I was getting low on some things. Okay, so to do under the cheeks, I'm going to use this Horizon Group number 6 flat. And I'm going to get a little bit, I need just a little bit more of that cocoa. Not much at all, just a little. Just to get on my brush so that it'll blend good. And I'm going to get it just a little damp under there. I didn't get my floating medium out. So I'll let it dry just a little bit. And I just want a hint of that pink. I don't want to get it up on my black. Smooth that out. I want it just under it. Let's see if we can get one more out of this. Okay, I'm going to add just a little more to that last one. And we're going to do the same thing in the smile lines. Okay, so what do you think? Put it up here. I think it looks pretty gingerbready. All right, I'm going to go ahead and do at least one little section of, well, no, I'm not, because my diamond dust, that's all downstairs. So I will take a picture of it after I get the diamond dust on in the morning. And this is what we've got so far. So what do you think? Vote on, do you think it needs anything on the toe and the heel, or is it fine just like it is? And then by the time we get it all sparkly up here, and then I may put a little bit of sparkle on some of the peppermints. Not the diamond dust, but just some regular. So I will take a good picture of it for you tomorrow, but put your comments on there for me and let me know what you think about the heel and the toe, if it looks fine just like it is, or if I need to add anything. And another thing I want your opinion on is, do you think 35 is too much for it? Should I go down to 25 or should I leave it at 35? What do you guys think? All right, ladies, good night. Everybody go to sleep and have a good night's sleep. And Jan, I will say a prayer for you tonight. Hope you're feeling better after your fall, hon. You be careful. Good night, Jerry. See, we've still got Jan and Jerry, and I think Anna went to bed. Good night, Karen. I feel like the Waltons when they tell everybody good night every night. All right, good night, everyone. Thanks a lot for hanging in with me.